Good morning, scholars. Today we're going to continue our way through Farr's Homeric Greek, a book for beginners, dealing with Lesson 11, wherein we will conclude our presentation of first declension nouns by covering the nouns of the first declension that are masculine. There are very few of these, but they are important to know, especially because in many cases they are the names of our heroes of the poem. Okay. So, as you see right here, we have Atreides, the son of Atreus, Aeneas, Aeneas, and Aechametes, spearmen. The endings of the first declension masculine nouns differ from those of the first declension feminine nouns in the nominative and genitive singular only. So it's only the nominative and genitive singular that you have to worry about. The rest of the declension of these nouns will be just like boule, boules that you learned. So there's a discrepancy between what Homer does and what we find in later Attic and New Testament Greek, as it says here, Smythe 222. In later Attic and New Testament Greek, the genitive singular ending is borrowed from the second declension and is omicron upsilon. But in Homer, as we will see, that genitive singular is, as we see in our examples, Atreides, Atreidao, Aeneas, Aeneao, Aechametes, Aechametao. So we will see this more closely very soon. But the entire declension of these masculine nouns is, as we've already said, differs only in the nominative singular and genitive singular. Atreides, Atreidao, or epsilon omega, Atreidei, Atreidein, and then O, Atreidei. So the masculine singular genitive in long alpha omicron is derived from the original form long alpha iota omicron and is used in Homer, and it contracts to a single long alpha in Aeolic and Doric. Likewise, you'll see the form for the genitive masculine singular of epsilon omega from Eta omicron, which is a variation on long alpha omicron. And this form, which is very common, Homer makes to be a single syllable by synesis. So atreido, atreido. And finally, after a vowel, C, Homer will have omega as the form of the genitive singular of these first declension masculine nouns. So in Boreo, the north wind, we have Boreo from Boreas, the genitive singular. So these alternative genitives in long alpha omicron, epsilon omega, and after a vowel omega are things that we will watch out for. But otherwise, the declension of these masculine first declensions is pretty straightforward. So, observation 1. The masculines usually take the case ending sigma in the nominative singular. The feminines do not. So we have Atreides, Aeneas, and Aechametes. So you see the sigma in the nominative singular. Again, from Farr 674, the masculines are declined like feminines, except in the nominative and genitive singular, and occasionally in the vocative singular. So again, you see our forms, and there's not really much to learn here, but to watch out for the nominative and genitive singulars. As far as 670, masculines ending in ace, os, in the nominative singular retain this eta or long alpha throughout the singular, with the exception that the genitive singular always ends in the ending long alpha omicron or epsilon omega, which is rare. So again, this is just making the same point. These are pretty straightforward to learn. So the genitive singular in Homer, beating the horse to beyond death, is long alpha omicron, epsilon omega, or omega. Now, whereas in New Testament and Attic Greek, you're going to have that genitive singular borrowed from the second declension, and it's going to be omicron u. So let's look at these examples that Smythe gives at 225, because he's focused on the Attic dialect. Neanias, neaniu, polites, politu, krites, kritu, atreides, atreidu. So we see the variation here. Okay. Back to far, 675. Masculines ending in dace, delta, eta, sigma, have eta in the vocative singular. Those ending in tau, eta, sigma, compound nouns and the names of nationalities have short alpha, and those ending in long alpha, sigma, have long alpha. These vocatives aren't really anything one needs to worry about because they're very easy to spot when you're actually in the poem itself. But we see in our examples, we have, looking at these vocatives of 664, atra ide, o atra ide, o son of Atreus, o ane a, o ane a, o Aeneas, and o aikmeta, o aikmeta, o spearman. And examples of nationality are Perses, so it'd be o Perse, Spartiates, o Spartiarte, Aeginetes, o Aeginete. So like I say, these vocatives are not hard to spot in the poem as they occur, but they are important because the heroes' names are quite prominent in Homer. Now the plural of the masculines of the first declension are exactly as we've learned for the plurals of boule and the rest. So these should be already deeply embedded in your mind. Atra edai, atra edaon, atra edese, atra edas, aik metai, aik metaon, aik metese, aik metas. And here again, the explanation of the genitive plural, or the various genitive plurals. Now, another observation on first declension. Observe that the original long alpha of the stem of the first declension noun commonly becomes eta throughout the singular. It rarely remains alpha, long alpha. This occurs in dea and a few proper names. So dea, deas, dei, dean is something of rarity. First declensions declined with that long alpha all the way through, but they are something you have to be aware of. Another observation from Smythe, FAR 666. In some feminines, the long alpha of the stem becomes short alpha in the nominative, which is found also in the accusative and the vocative. But in the genitive and dative singular, the alpha of the stems becomes eta, just as the nouns ending in eta in the nominative singular. So this variation is quite common, and you should be used to it by now. Dalasa, dalases, dalase, dalasan. Gaia, gaies, gae, gaian. Feminines ending in eta or long alpha in the nominative singular retain this throughout the singular. So we've already seen the case of dea, deas, dei, dean, and then as well our most regular form, boule, boules, boule, boulein. So these go easy on us because the alpha and the eta are retained throughout the singular. But those nouns ending in short alpha retain it only in the nominative, accusative, and the vocative. The genitive and dative are declined in the same way as those ending in eta. So you see here, moira, moires, more, moiran. Vocative, moira, o fate, o moira. Dalasa, dalases, dalase, dalasan, o dalasa. Gaia, gaies, gae, gaian, o gaia. So here we do see the variation from alpha to eta, but this is not very hard to keep up with, and by now you should be familiar with it. So that's it for our first declension nouns. Work hard in the following days to consolidate these first declension nouns along with the second declension, because our next lesson 12 will constitute a review of all this material, and then in the next lesson, lesson 13, we move on to the very formidable third declension. So do work very hard to get etched in your mind these first and second declension nouns so you're ready to go forward to the next stage of our study. Okay, work hard and have a great day. Goodbye.